Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelisa and on this channel we read, discuss, and just talk about books. And today I thought I would do a video that I've done before, but this is kind of like for the next few months / next year. So I did a video once where I just talked about like a bunch of books that I had on pre-order and didn't have on pre-order, but it was like an anticipated read for either people I knew or myself, and I thought I would share that with you guys so you can add a bunch of books to your pre-order or just anticipated reads for 2024 if you weren't aware that these were coming out. Some of these I didn't even know were coming out until I started like doing research for this video. So yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about today. I have 50 books that are, in my opinion, super exciting and might be exciting for you. So let's just jump right into it. So I have like 3 categories of books. The first set are fantasy romance books, anything that is like fantasy. The second set are like contemporary romance / literature books. There are some like fantasy romance, like witchy romances in there, but they're mostly a contemporary romance, not like a high fantasy. And then the third is a set of mystery thrillers that are coming out. So first up, technically this is coming out in 2023, but I wanted to put this on the list because, you know, we're not really gonna get it until almost the end of 2023, and it's Ruthless Vows coming out December 26th. And obviously a lot of people are excited for this. I haven't even read Divine Rivals yet, and I'm excited for this. I already have it on pre-order. I'm hoping to read Divine Rivals this month coming up, like in December, but it follows these 2 journalists who fall in love through writing anonymous letters to each other on this like magical typewriter, I'm pretty sure. So it's a YA fantasy with some historical fiction in it, and it has war and gods. So it just sounds very interesting, and it's gone absolutely viral, and every person on YouTube that I know that has the same taste as me loves this book, so I'm very excited for the second one and to read the first one, obviously. Next is The Atlas Complex. This is coming out January 9th, and this is the 3rd book in the Atlas series. The first book is called The Atlas 6. It's a YA fantasy series, and it's about these 6 magicians who are basically competing for the chance to have an initiation with this like famous magician called Atlas Blakey. Only 5 of them will be initiated and 1 of them will be eliminated. So yeah, this is the 3rd book that's coming out. I have not read the 1st and 2nd, but I know this is a really highly anticipated book that's coming out. Next, coming out on January 16 is Emily Wilde's A Map of the Otherlands. So this book, the first one, kind of like blew up this year. It's called Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, yeah. So this is the 2nd book, and it's about this professor named Emily Wilde, and she's an expert on all things fairies. And in the first book, she is a scholar and a researcher, and she was basically writing an encyclopedia about fairies. And in the second one, she's doing a map of like the fairy lands and the fairy like realms. But while she's dealing with that, she's also, you know, going on like different adventures and dealing with some mysterious fairies and falling in love. So yeah, the 2nd book for that is coming out, and I know that's also very like highly anticipated, and the cover matches the first, which is so cute. Next up, probably one of the most anticipated releases for 2024 is House of Shadow and Flame. This is the 3rd book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I have not read the 1st and 2nd because I'm in the middle of the Throne of Glass series right now, but after I finish that, I'm going to read Crescent City. But obviously this is highly anticipated for a lot of people, understandably. I know that it's like a modern high fantasy set in the Sarah J. Maas multiverse, so yeah, that's basically all I know, but definitely have that one on pre-order. I want the exclusive version as soon as it comes out. Next is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsah. How do you say her name? Faizal, I think. This is the 1st book in a new YA fantasy series. It's a vampire duology. She wrote We Hunt the Flame, which is really popular. So this one follows an orphan girl and her crew of like misfits, and they get tangled up in a heist with a bunch of vampires. So apparently it's really good for fans of like the Six of Crows duology because it has that kind of like found family vibes, so I'm really excited for this one too. Next is another like highly anticipated sequel. It's The Prisoner's Throne, which is the 2nd book to the Stolen Heir duology by Holly Black, which is like based in the like Elfhame Cruel Prince universe. And this one follows Oak, like years later after The Cruel Prince. So yeah, I have not read the first one yet. I'm waiting for it to come out in paperback just because the rest of the books that I have are in paperback. So yeah, but the second one is coming out on March 5th. On March 12th, A Touch of Chaos is supposed to finally come out. A Touch of Chaos is the 4th book in the Hades and Persephone's series, and this one is supposed to have multiple point of views, which is very interesting. I've only read the first books to the two like series, but I'm still excited for this one. I love the series so much, and I know that a lot of people have been waiting for this for a very, very long time because it was supposed to come out a long time ago and the date just kept being changed. Next, on April 2nd, this book that I found on like Indigo is coming out, and I pre-ordered it. First of all, the cover and like the sprayed edges are so beautiful, but it's called The Last One by Rachel Howzell Hall. So it's a new adult fantasy romance series about this girl who like wakes up naked and mute in a forest outside of this town, and everybody in that town is like super scared of her. She is being hunted by these like strange beasts and monsters, and every time she like kills them, she unlocks more powers inside of herself. Every time she like touches something, she's also dying. So it's very like interesting. She's kind of like destroying everything around her while killing herself slowly. So yeah, it sounded very intriguing. It kind of reminded me a little bit about Shatter Me, so yeah, I thought it would be really interesting and I pre-ordered it. Next, on April 9th, this new book called The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo is coming out. So it's gonna be like a historical fantasy. She wrote Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows, Ninth House, Hellbent, those books. So this is a new, like, I think it's a standalone historical adult fantasy set in like the Spanish golden era or golden age. A moment for the cover. It is so freaking pretty. So Louisa is a poor servant and she uses magic to get through like all the mundane tasks that she has to do every day, and when her mistress, which I think is like her boss, learns that she has these powers, she orders her to use her powers to like improve the social standing and stuff of the family, and from there things go sideways and Louisa gets caught up in this world of like magic and fraud, and yeah, so it sounded really interesting, so I thought I would share it on here. Next is another book that I found on Indigo. It's called Bloodguard by Cece Robson. This one is a new fantasy romance that kind of reminds me of Throne of Glass, but it's kind of like opposite. So he, the main character, is fighting for his freedom and enough money to save his dying sister, and he ended up losing everything. But then he meets this girl Maeve who's like a royal, and she gives him this like rare opportunity to win his freedom by becoming part of the Bloodguard. So yeah, it's a little bit of like an enemies to lovers because he despises the royals, and yeah, it just kind of like reminded me of Throne of Glass a little bit, if you know what I mean. Also on April 16th is a book called To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang. So this looked super interesting. It's the first book in a new epic fantasy series where this girl is cursed with the power of death. So like everything, like she can just kind of like suck the life out of people just like from afar. It's kind of crazy, but she needs to choose between like saving her family or betraying her country. So it's kind of like duty to family versus duty to country, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, she can either make a deal with the prince to become his private assassin to save her family but be betraying her country in the process, or allow her family to starve and suffer. Next, on May 7th is Lore Olympus number 6. So I'm putting this in the fantasy just because it's very like a lot of gods are in it. I just read the first one actually last night and I freaking really loved it. So number 6 is coming out yeah, on May 7th, so I'm super excited for that one. On July 4th, Ruthless by Lauren Roberts is coming out. So this is the second book in the Powerless trilogy. I have not read Powerless yet. I'm also hoping to read that in December, but I'm super excited for it. I've heard amazing things about it, and just the idea of like BookTok getting to watch an author like grow up and write a book is amazing to me, and like I don't even know her, but I'm so proud of her. I have heard that it's like a kind of like fantasy Hunger Games where there's like the elites who have powers and then the ordinaries who don't have powers, I think. So yeah. On July 23rd, a kind of like mythology retelling called Heir is coming out by Jennifer Saint. Retelling where like Heir is typically depicted as this jealous, like overbearing wife and stepmother, but in this she is a powerful queen who questions her brother Zeus and how cruel he actually is, similar to his father, and whether or not she wants to be like a part of that rule. So yeah, it sounded very, very interesting. And she also wrote like Electra, I think what is it, Ariadne. Like she's written a few of these like woman focused Greek mythology retellings. So yeah, that one is coming out in July. Next is something that I thought was really, really cool. So it's called Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. If you don't know, Ava Reid wrote A Study in Drowning, which was really, really popular this past few months. My best friend Rowan read it. She freaking loved it. It's one of her favorite books now, so I want to read it. I just haven't really gotten it yet. But this one is a Macbeth reimagining where Lady Macbeth is given a voice. She's always been like a kind of like side character. It's a different story from the ones that men have written about her, obviously. So it's supposed to be perfect for fans of Circe. So it's kind of just like, you know, that woman focused, centering the woman's voice in a way that it was not done in the original. I've heard that the writing in her books are very like lyrical and beautiful. So I think that this will be a very, very beautiful book, and it's tagged as a fantasy. So I believe it's a fantasy somehow. Next, this is kind of like an estimated one. So in late 2024, Tempest of Fire and Fury by Scarlett St. Clair is supposed to be coming out, and this is a Aphrodite book. Finally, an Aphrodite book is coming. So she is with, I can't ever remember to say his name. It's like Hephaestus or something like that, and he's not really interested in their marriage or in being like intimate with her in any way, so he gives her permission to go and like have any lovers that she wants. And this, I think, is about her making a bargain with Hades, I assume, about like whether or not love exists, and she has to like fulfill a bargain. Like, yeah, so it sounds really, really interesting. I'm very excited for it. We got like crumbs of Aphrodite in the first book, so yeah, I'm just really excited about that one. The last like fantasy book I have on here is a big fat question mark. It's the third Fourth Wing book. I'm in the middle of Iron Flame now, and I've already seen some of the spoilers on TikTok, unfortunately, because people suck. But I'm kind of like, we got 2 books in 6 months. When is the next one coming, Rebecca? I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to wait. So 2024, I'm manifesting. So now contemporary romance and literature, back to the beginning of the year, January 23rd, a new book called The Breakup Tour is coming out by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Freud, I think is how you say his name. So this is a second chance romance where this woman writes a song about this guy and it goes viral, and her ex-husband tries to like claim that it's like about him, and she's like, no, 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 no. So she calls up the guy that it's really about and they end up going on a tour together. And this book is written by the same authors who wrote The Roughest Draft, so I'm really hoping for like a dual POV action from them again, because it's like a husband and wife. But yeah, I'm really excited for that one. It looks really cute. Next, on January 30th, Good Material by Dolly Alderton is coming out. This is more of like a literary fiction or contemporary literature. It's more of like a coming of age slash like just like going through your 30s. It's about this guy. His name is Andy. He's an aspiring comedian, and he's living on his like in his best friend's spare room out of a luggage after just experiencing like a breakup with who he thought was the love of his life. So he's kind of just like navigating all of that, trying to get through this breakup, trying to build his career, and he is, you know, at the age of 35 and feels like he should have figured it out already. So yeah, it's one of those, and I'm very excited because it's another like, I really liked her memoirs, and I'm excited to see if I like her fiction. So it's coming out January 30th. Next, on February 6th, we have If Only I Told Her by Laura Nolan coming out. This is the sequel to If You Had Been With Me. which is very, very sad. I think this one is supposed to be like his point of view. I also saw that it's gonna have like a best friend's point of view, I think. So yeah, very, very excited about this. It's tragic. I don't know why I'm excited, but it's nice that we will get like a little sequel to it. Next, also on February 6th, we're getting Bride by Ali Hazelwood. So this is, I think, her first stab at like a fantasy-ish romance, like contemporary romance, where it definitely is giving like spooky romance. Like I want to read it in October next year probably, even though it's coming out in February. It's a vampire werewolf romance between the daughter of a powerful vampire and the alpha of like this werewolf pack. And it has like marriage of convenience in it, so I think it'll be very, very interesting. Next, on February 13, we have The Catch by Amy Leas. This is the third book in like the influencer companion novels. The first one was, I think, X's and O's. The second one is Set on You, or maybe the other way around, I don't remember. But this is the third one, called The Catch, and this one is a like fisherman influencer adult romance based in a small town in Canada, actually. So I think that one will be really, really cute. I haven't read X's and O's yet, so yeah, but this is, I know a lot of people loved X's and O's, so. Also on February 13, we're getting Not Your Crush's Cauldron. So this is the third book in the Supernatural Singles series by April Asher. So I read the first one, Not the Witch You Wed, and I freaking loved it. I rated it like 6 stars. It was so, so good, and the world building was actually really, really good. So I haven't read the second one yet, but the third one is coming out February 13, and I'm really, really excited. It's following one of the sisters, Olive, and this bad boy guardian angel, Bax. I really, really loved Bax in the first one, so I'm very excited for this. Also on February 13, we're gonna get Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. So this is a new adult romance, I believe. I think she's like 18 or 19 in it, and she gets to spend a year abroad in London, and she's very excited until she learns that all of her roommates in her flat are really attractive and charming boys, and she falls for not one but 2 of them, and yeah, there's lots of drama. This one sounds really, really fun, so I thought it would be cute to put on here, and I love Elle Kennedy's writing, so I think it'll be really good. I do think it's a standalone though. Next, on March 12th, we have Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. So this is an adult romance. It's about this girl, so her name is Sophie, and her fiance cheats on her, so she hires this guy named Max to object at her wedding, and after it happens, she decides that she actually like thinks it's a really cool job and she wants to join Max on doing this. So they become these like cynical objectors who work together, and as they work together, they realize that they have off the charts chemistry, and they hook up once or twice and try to just say that like they just don't like each other like that, but you know, things happen. On April 2nd, we will be getting The Rulebook by Sarah Adams. So this is a companion novel to The Cheat Sheet. It's a sports adult romance where these childhood sweethearts meet again years later, as Nora has Derek, who's a famous NFL player, as her first client as when she starts her job as like a full-time sports agent. So she broke his heart years ago, and now he is dead set on like making her life miserable in this job. But the two have a wild night in Vegas, and somehow it leads to them getting married, and they have to decide whether or not they want to keep it going. Also on April 2nd, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez is coming out. New adult summer romance. Basically, these two people believe that they're cursed, and the only way that their curse will be broken is if they date each other. So they agree to date for the summer. Emma will get to rent Justin's cottage for the summer, and you know, he just gets to like kind of have an easy summer, and hopefully the curse will be broken. But things get a little bit more serious when family and real feelings get involved. Next, on April 9th, we are getting Wild Love by Elsie Silver. So this is going to be a new small town romance series based in like the Chestnut Springs universe. I literally don't have a synopsis for this. I've just heard that it's supposed to be out on April 9th. April 23rd, Funny Story by Emily Henry is coming out. I'm so excited. The cover is so freaking cute, and it matches Happy Place so well as a hardcover as well. It's about these two people whose exes fall in love with each other, and they are both left stranded complete like opposite personalities and only have this like one thing in common basically. They decide to make their exes jealous by spending a summer together and posting like photos together on purpose. It's supposed to be all for show, but like somehow they fell in love with their ex-fiance's ex. On April 30th, King of Sloth by Anna Huang is supposed to come out. So that's the 4th book in the King of Sin series. I have not read the series yet. I'm trying to finish the Twisted series first. But basically it's a series about these like 7 billionaires who they're supposed to represent like the 7 deadly sins. So this one is sloth. The first 3 I'm pretty sure are like wrath, pride, and greed or something like that. On May 7th, This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune is coming out. So I wasn't going to read her next book just because the first 2 had this trope that like I just kind of got tired of. But then I saw the cover and the synopsis for this and like I just couldn't not like pick it up. It's a best friend's brother romance and like it's based in PEI, which is a provincial island off the east coast of Canada, and these 2 have been trying to resist each other for years but always fail. But finally when they're stuck together for a summer because like the best friend is going through a crisis, they swear that this summer will be different and they're not going to like succumb to their attraction to each other. Next coming out on June 4th is Daydream by Hannah Grace. I am so excited for this. I loved Icebreaker and Wildfire so much. I'm so excited for Daydream. We're finally getting a Henry book, or Cutie Pie Henry. So in this, Henry is made team captain and he has to keep his grades up, and we get introduced to this new character, I think, Hallie. So she's really good at school, so she offers to help Henry, but she's also like really busy with her job and her own studies, and she's also trying to write a book, but she's experiencing major writer's block. So Henry offers to help her through her writer's block by giving her new experiences is what it says. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. On June 11th, we're getting Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. So this is another one of her like STEMinist adult romances, and this is about a bioengineer who her like lab that she works at is being taken over, or like threatened to be taken over, by this company that's owned, or this guy like works for it. What's his name? Eli. So he wants to buy the lab that she works at. So the 2 of them end up going into a full-blown affair while this like feuding is going on, and the expiry date for their affair is supposed to be whenever a decision is made about which company can have the lab. So yeah, it sounds very interesting and I'm excited for it. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. Was it Love Theoretically? I don't remember, but the last one with like the orange or yellow cover, I loved it so much, so I'm excited for this. Also on June 11th, we have The Rom-Commers by Catherine Senner coming out. So she wrote The Bodyguard, which went viral this year. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard it's really good. So this is about an aspiring screenwriter who is tasked with like rewriting this romance or romantic comedy that this like really famous screenwriter wrote, and he has no interest in rewriting the script. He like does not believe in love, and she is convinced that she can like convince him that love exists and help him rewrite this script. So yeah, it sounds really cute, and I'm kind of excited for it. And the cover like matches The Bodyguard, so it's really cute to have on like your shelf. On June 12th, a new like Tassanja Odette series is coming out. The first book to it is called A Rivalry of Hearts, and this is going to be part of a like standalone companion novel series called, what's it called? Fae Flings and Corset Strings. So it sounds like a very like sexy fantasy romance like contemporary series, and she wrote the Entangled with Fae series, which are all like princess kind of story retellings, which is really cute, or fairy tale retellings. So this one is about 2 rival writers who enter a bargain with Fae that leads them to have to win a bet, basically. And the bet is whoever can bed the most lovers during their month-long book tour wins a publishing contract. So I love that it's Fae, has writers and like books and publishing, and then it's like sounds like it's gonna be like super spicy and like steamy. So yeah, On June 18, we're also getting like Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. So this is going to be the second book in her Lakefront Billionaire series. The first one, Love, I think Redesigned or Undesigned or something like that, just came out and I've heard really good things about it so far. So yeah, the second one is coming out next June. Also, June 25th, we're getting a book called Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. So this is going to be the fourth book in a like companion novel series called Meant to Be. If you haven't heard of it, it's because they're not all written by Christina Lauren. They're written by like different romance authors, but this fourth one is going to be written by the duo Christina Lauren, and it's a Tangled / Rapunzel retelling. So it's about this girl who has never really encountered technology or modern society, and she wants to go to college, to this college called Corona College. And Fitz has a plan to graduate from Corona College at the top of his class, clear his criminal record, and pass himself off as rich. But when he meets Ren, they end up getting thrown into an assignment together where they go on a road trip and they get tangled up in each other, and it's supposed to be really, really cute. I'm kind of excited for it. So a few more romances. So July 2nd, we're going to be getting Dishonestly Yours by Krista and Becca Ritchie. The cover for this book is so freaking pretty. I can't. So if you don't know, Krista and Becca Ritchie wrote the Addicted and Calloway Sisters series, which is a super like intricate and like kind of like toxic romance found family huge series. So this one is about Phoebe and her best friend who want to start over and escape to a new town so they can escape their past. But Haley's brother Rocky wants to come with them. So the three of them are in this new town. And this is a best friend's brother romance. So Phoebe and Rocky have kind of like a messy past, and Phoebe's trying to come here so that she can like get her life in order, but Rocky is not gonna let her do that. So yeah, it sounds really, really cute and interesting, and I think it'll be probably like a start to like a whole series again. So I'm so excited. And the freaking cover, again, like the cover is just so cute. August 6th, The Pairing by Casey McQuiston is coming out. So this is about two bisexual exes who accidentally book the same like wine tour in Europe, and they challenge each other to an international hookup competition to prove that they're over each other. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but it is a new like LGBTQ Casey McQuiston book. She wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, One Last Stop, and a lot of people love those. So I'm super duper excited because nothing like the movies by Lynn Painter is supposed to be coming out in like September or fall 2024. So yeah, if you haven't read Better Than the Movies, read that because this is like a sequel to it, and I'm really freaking excited, and I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, I'm just so excited. It looks like it's gonna be so cute. On October 1st, apparently The Shortlist by Elena Armas is supposed to come out. So this is like a companion novel to The Long Game, which just kind of came out recently, but I saw like mixed reviews about that first one. But yeah, the second one is supposed to be coming out October 1st. Elena Armas wrote The Spanish Love Deception, which was really popular. So yeah, and she always has like really, really cute covers, like super cute covers. October 15, I'm so excited. The Wedding Wish by Erin Sterling is supposed to come out. So this is the third book in the X-Hex like little series. Yes, we're getting a third one. I thought we were not going to get a third one, but we are. So this one is following the third Penhallow brother. His name is Bowen or Bowen, something like that. And he gets thrown into the past with this girl who, she is not a witch, but she like makes money off of witch stuff. So they're both like gone to this witchy wedding, and she's trying to like find these heirlooms, and he's just like there. And something happens where they get like transported back in time to like the first ever Yuletide celebration in 1958, and they are kind of like figuring out how to get back into the present while learning about like the haunting of the house there. Yeah, and obviously like getting little feelings for each other. So yeah, I think it's gonna be super duper cute, and I'm so excited for it. I wanted a third X-Hex so bad. I hope that there's like cameos of Gwen and Vivian. So the last one that I have on this like contemporary literature one is actually a Toshikazu Kawaguchi book. So this hasn't been like officially announced for US/Canada, but I did notice that this year in March he released a 5th book in his series, and it roughly translates to Before I Forget the Kindness. So this is a picture of the cover here, and it's so freaking cute, and I'm just kind of like excited. I hope that we get a Japanese translation. I mean, I hope we get an English translation in 2024 hopefully, because that would be so cute. Moving on to mystery thrillers. First we have Anna O by Matthew Blake. This is coming out January 2nd. So I thought this seemed really, really interesting. It's about this girl who, she was like a perfectly normal person, and then one day she just randomly killed 2 people, stabbed them to death with no apparent motive, and she's just been asleep since then. She has not woken up, and she's just like remained in a sleeping state, and she's suffering from this psychological disorder called resignation syndrome, and this catches the attention of a forensic psychologist who specializes in sleep-related homicides. So he wants to like figure out what's going on with her. It very much reminds me of The Silent Patient, so I thought it would be very, very interesting. Speaking of The Silent Patient, Alex Michaelides is coming out with a new book called The Fury on January 16. So this is a new murder mystery. It's about an ex-movie star and her famous friends who go on like a trip to a private Greek island. The story is being told by someone named Elliot Chase, so it's very like intriguing. I don't really like, the synopsis is very cryptic. It's kind of hard to understand like what's going on, but yeah, it sounded very interesting. On February 13, there's this book called The Framed Woman of Ardmore House by Brandy Shillis coming out. So this seemed really, really cool. It's about an American book editor who has autism, and she's always had trouble fitting in, and even more so when she inherits this house in the countryside of England. It also could possibly be haunted. A dead body shows up, and like a portrait gets stolen, and everyone thinks that it's the new American lady who acts weird. So yeah, I always love reading books that have neurodivergent characters in them. I think they're very, very interesting, so I'm kind of excited for this one. I thought I would share it with you guys. March 26th, The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties is coming out. This is the 3rd book in the Aunties like series or companion novels. They're a bunch of like comedy, cozy mysteries. So in this one, a family celebration of the Chinese New Year turns into chaos, basically. Next, on April 2nd, The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson is coming out. So this is going to be a new YA mystery from Holly Jackson. She wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, 5 Survive. I really loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and that whole series. So this one actually is about a girl who's trying to uncover the truth about her missing mother while filming a documentary about it. So kind of like similar vibe, but obviously different, a very like true crime-esque type of novel. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. The cover is similar to the other ones in her series, so yeah, it'll like all match, which is cool. June 11th, The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden is coming out. So this is the 3rd book in the Housemaid series. If you haven't read the first 2, I didn't want to read the synopsis because I haven't read the second one, but I have read the first one. But if you have read the first 2, the 3rd book is going to be coming out in June, and yeah, I'm kind of excited. I've heard that the second one was good. So lastly on this list is The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I do not want to read you guys the synopsis for this because it will spoil the ending and stuff of the 4th book and like the first 3, but this is the 5th book, and I really enjoyed the ending of The Brothers Hawthorne. I think it sets up this book really, really well, so I'm very excited about this, and it is coming out on July 30th. Anyway guys, that's all the books that I have to talk to you guys about. Those are all the books that like, I don't have all of them on pre-order. A lot of them I do. Some of them I might add to my pre-order because after I did research for this video, because I wanted to talk about more books and just like give you guys a list of books that might interest you. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below if there's any books that you are anticipating for next year that maybe I didn't mention in this video. And yeah, let's just like chat about it. I love talking about books with you guys. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I love you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.